Some places carry stories, but some places carry something else. Tonight, I'm going to tell you 5 stories. Stories about strange encounters, unexplained moments, and things that happen to ordinary people that they still can't explain to this day. Maybe they were coincidences. Maybe they were tricks of the mind, or maybe some things are watching us when we think we're completely alone. Turn the lights down, and let's begin. The elevator that stopped. A security guard named Marcus once worked the night shift at an office building in Chicago. The building was mostly empty after midnight. Only a few cleaning crews and the occasional late worker remained. Marcus spent most of his shift watching the security cameras. But one night around 2 a.m., something strange happened. One of the elevators stopped on the 13th floor. The problem was, there was no 13th floor. The building skipped it. Like many buildings, it went from 12 directly to 14. Marcus assumed it was a glitch in the system. But when he checked the camera inside the elevator, there was someone inside. A woman, standing perfectly still, facing the corner of the elevator. Marcus tried to speak through the intercom. No response. He tried to call the elevator back down. It wouldn't move. Then the woman slowly turned toward the camera and smiled. But the smile didn't look natural. It stretched too far across her face. Marcus radioed another guard to check the elevator. By the time the guard arrived, the elevator doors opened. Empty. No woman. No one in the hallway. But the security footage showed something Marcus could never explain. Right before the doors opened, the woman stepped forward and walked directly through the elevator wall. The Forest Trail. A group of friends went hiking in Northern California one summer. The trail was supposed to be an easy afternoon hike. Nothing dangerous, just a quiet walk through the forest. About halfway through the trail, one of them noticed something strange. There were no sounds, no birds, no insects, nothing. Just silence. They kept walking. Then they saw a man standing ahead on the trail. He was wearing old clothes, like something from decades ago. He wasn't moving, just standing there, staring down the path. The group slowed down, but when they blinked, the man was suddenly closer, much closer. No one saw him walk. No one heard footsteps. He was just there. Then he spoke in a calm voice. "You shouldn't be here after dark." The sun was still out. The friends laughed awkwardly and continued walking. When they turned around to say something else, the man was gone. Completely gone. Later that night, they checked a map of the area. The trail they had taken had been closed for years because multiple hikers had disappeared there in the 1970s. The hotel room. A traveling salesman once shared a story about a hotel he stayed at during a work trip. He arrived late at night. The hotel was nearly empty. The receptionist gave him a key to room 317. As he walked down the hallway, he noticed something strange. Every room looked normal, except one. Right before his room, the door was painted completely black. No number, no sign, just a black door. Curious, he asked the receptionist about it. She immediately looked nervous, then told him something very clearly. "Do not look through the keyhole." He laughed and went upstairs, but curiosity got the better of him. Later that night, he stepped into the hallway and looked through the keyhole of the black door. Inside, he saw a woman, standing against the wall, completely pale, staring directly back at the door. He quickly stepped away, feeling uneasy. The next morning, he asked the receptionist again. This time she sighed and said something that made his stomach drop. The last guest who stayed in that room murdered his wife. And when police found her, her eyes were completely white. The radio station. In the early 2000s, a late-night radio host ran a paranormal talk show. People would call in and share strange experiences. One night around 3 a.m., a call came in from a man whispering. He sounded terrified. The host asked what was wrong. The caller said someone had been knocking on his door for the past hour, but every time he looked through the peephole, no one was there. The host tried to calm him down. Then the caller said something strange. The knocking just moved to my window. The host asked if he lived on the first floor. The caller paused, then said something quietly. No, I live on the fourth floor. The line suddenly went silent. The host tried to call the number back, but it didn't exist. The call log showed something even stranger. The call didn't come from a phone number. It came from inside the station. The passenger. A rideshare driver once told a story that made its way around the internet. Late one night, he picked up a passenger from a quiet suburban street. The passenger was a young woman. She got in the back seat and gave an address across town. The ride was quiet, no conversation. After about 10 minutes, the driver noticed something strange in the rearview mirror. The woman wasn't moving. She was sitting perfectly still, eyes closed, almost like she was asleep. Eventually, they reached the destination. The driver turned around to tell her they had arrived. The back seat was empty. He assumed she must have gotten out earlier. But when he checked the trip log, the ride had never been canceled. The payment had never processed. And the pickup address was a cemetery. Sometimes the scariest stories aren't the ones we watch in movies. They're the ones told by ordinary people. Moments that happened in quiet places late at night when no one else was around. So the next time you hear something strange, a knock, a whisper, or footsteps where no one should be, remember something. Some stories aren't stories at all.